Good morning, buckaroos. Yeah, I know most of you aren't buckaroos. Well, I'm Bob Hurt. It really isn't morning. It's like 1:40 in the afternoon. I admit it, I woke up a little bit late. I'm sitting here in an environment that feels comfortable to me in my condo in a place called On Top of the World. And it's pretty much on top of the world, I suppose you'd say. I'm up here on the third floor. I look out, I see cypress trees and camphor trees and pine trees and Brazilian peppers out my window in the forest right there. And today I thought what I would do, I'd sit down and give you a peek into my life. All right, I woke up, Maria's gone. Where did she go? Then I go listen to her computer is making a lot of noise because of the fan blowing. I decided to turn it off, and up pops a window on mosaics. I know what she has done. She's gone to Sears to buy mosaic kit with little pliers that break pieces of glass. Okay, that's up to her. Now, I poured myself a bowl, the very end of the box, of these toasted wheats, mini wheats, and I'm going to pour me some milk on it, and we're going to sit and eat some. Oh boy, you think you're going to have to tolerate sitting through this entire movie of me eating this? Oh yes, my beard. I have to be careful that I don't let it get in the way. So, I tie it off with a little rubber band. Oh, it's getting long. I'll be giving Billy Gibbons a run for his money before long. It's coming right down here to the end of my sternum. Okay, here we go. Let's try this out. Maria, my darling bride, she likes to keep pretty things on the table. So look at this. We got this in a little bistro in Paris. One of the strangest looking pictures inside a restaurant with these old 1920s and 30s looking outfits on these people. Anyway, so what she did, she took it down to, got a couple of these placemats and took them to Kinko's and had them laminated. So now, every time we eat at our little breakfast nook table, we see Paris right here in our own home. So, normally what I do, I'll get up in the morning or in the afternoon looking forward to and wondering what the day is going to bring. It seems like there's seldom a rain on my parade. I live generally happy days. I look outside, there are big cumulus clouds collecting over in the distance, but blue sky straight above, and the sun is shining. Oh, the balmy breeze is blowing, and the palm trees are swaying in the breeze. Yep, there are palms out there. These mini wheats, they're not really, yeah, I guess they are frosted a little bit, but they taste blueberry-ish. So anyway, I wake up. Sometimes I'll walk in and I sit down right over at my little table over there, and I might take a pill or two. Doctor says I should do it. I do it regardless. 1 week from today, my 69th birthday arrives. Actually, that was 1 week from yesterday. Today's the 23rd of May, 2012. Well, this year is getting closer and closer to its end. 6 days on the 29th, I will be 69. I thought 69 would be a perfect year for me, if I ever made it this far, and believe me, many haven't. So anyway, I go in and I greet Maria if she's here, but if she isn't, I go in and to the other room, sit down at my computer. I bring up my email. I see what, among all the spam that I get, what is interesting, what isn't. And invariably, I will find topics on legal issues that are beyond what I want to deal with, and they require so much study that I have to sit and read the email. Then I have to read the attachment, which is some long drawn out legal document, some of which are completely screwy. Yesterday, for example, a friend of mine, a delusional friend, he sent, and he's quite intelligent, it seems, normally. He sends me a bunch of stuff explaining, and from his viewpoint, why he thinks everybody ought to have the right to drive on the freeway or on the highway, anywhere around, as long as you're not in commercial activities without a driver's license. A few months ago, back in January, at a meeting of people at a sovereign citizen meeting type group, the ABC News crew was there, and one of the men said, Dan Harris said, "So you believe you need a license to drive?" One of the men, whom I had invited specifically because police had pulled him out of his car and stepped on his head and given him brain damage while falsely arresting him for no good reason, under trumped up charges that he was driving, in reality, maybe because he was black. This is in Lakeland, Florida, a place with a bad reputation for crooked cops. So anyway, they've been trying to prosecute this poor guy, and he didn't really do anything wrong, so he didn't deserve the harassment they're doing. But he walks with a limp and has to have a cane, and he sat there and said, "No, I don't think we should have to have a driver's license." So the end result of all this is I received these, I looked at it, I went and looked up the Florida law, very easy to do, Chapter 322, and very clearly right up toward the beginning, after the definitions, it says anybody in Florida who is going to drive on the highway has to have a driver's license. He tried to make a big deal out of what the definition of drive is. It means operate a motor vehicle. And what all these definitions, which seem to make sense, but in the process of looking at all these and dotting the I's and crossing the T's to the language of it, he missed the big picture. If people drive down the highway 200 miles an hour, they're either going to, in most vehicles, if they could go that fast, they're going to kill themselves because they're going to run into something or run off the road or do something, and they're going to have a violent crash. We have traffic laws and driver license laws, so people who have common sense can have a reasonable expectation of getting to their destination in one piece. Well, as you can see, my bowl is so empty, no point licking it. And I now have taken the edge, I've broken the fast, I've taken the edge off of, oops, excuse me, did I just shake the table like this? Sorry. You know, I have that little Q3 HD camera that came in the mail yesterday, and so what I thought I would do is I picked my little, favorite toy up here, and let's just get a tune going, because that's another thing I do. I grab my guitar, you're wondering why it's so nicely tuned up. Well, I have this gadget here, and if I push the button on it like this, the lights will cycle through a little bit, and then it'll and then if I pluck a string, it usually turns a green light on to tell me that the thing is tuned up properly. So here I am with my guitar. This thing here is a Jose Ramirez guitar. I bought it in Germany in 1981, and it's probably nothing special, but you know, it's the one I play the most. I like it. It's kind of got a nice sound. I'll tune this note, this key here, this string here, down from there to there because, well, I sort of like it. It goes with D. They say don't go on Wolverton Mountain if you're looking for a while, 'cause Clifton Clouds has a pretty young daughter. He's mighty handy with a gun and a knife. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain that protects her there. The bears and the birds tell Clifton Cloward if a stranger should enter there. I'm a-going up on Wolverton Mountain. I want his daughter for my wife. I'll take my chances and climb that mountain, though Clifton Cloward might take my life. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain protects her there. The bears and the birds tell Clifton Cloward if a stranger should linger there. My transitions could better be better. Well, I'm going up on Wolverton Mountain. It's so lonesome down here below. It just ain't right to hide his daughter from the one who loves her so. Her tender lips are sweeter than honey, and Wolverton Mountain protects her there. The bears and the birds tell Clifton Cloward if a stranger should enter there. You know, the other day I went on the internet and I looked up Clifton Clowers and Wolverton Mountain, and sure enough, I actually found a photograph of Clifton Clowers' headstone. I think he died back in the 1980s. And this song, it was one of the first songs that I learned to play on the guitar. I heard it on the radio back in the early 60s during my last year in high school when I lived in the Dallas area in Oak Cliff, Texas. And I sat in my bed in my downstairs garage apartment where I lived alone, and I'd pick up this guitar I had bought for $8, and I'd try to pick out a little tune by listening to the things on the radio. I liked that song. It just had a pretty ring to it, and I don't know, it seemed like about love, a love song. This guy was wishing that he could get into an intimate relationship with this lovely daughter of this man who lived up on the mountain. Well, it turns out Wolverton Mountain is in the Ozarks, and it's just south of the northern border of Arkansas. And it's a 1,000-foot tall plateau, sort of, and right down at the foot of the thing, there's a little town or a little settlement or a little village area. And that area has a little cemetery in it, and Clifton Clowers, well, that's his last resting place. And I started looking for the Clowers daughters to see what happened to them. One of them went to North Carolina, I think, and married some man, maybe the man who wrote this song, and another one went somewhere else. So I don't remember the full details of it, but I thought that was interesting. That song has a little bit of history to it in my life, and well, maybe it's had meaning to a lot of people. Okay, so what else do I do during the day? Usually Maria will come home from her adventures, and when she does, we'll make up a little lunch right here in our kitchen, or a little dinner, as the case may be. And we'll sit down and relax and have time, watch a little TV together and hug on each other and love each other. Now that woman is one precious human being. I am such a lucky man that I managed to run into her at the Skyline Chili place in 1999 on September the 24th. Oh yeah, that was my lucky day. She is a good girl, and I cherish that woman with all my heart. And that is one of the happiest things in my life. So, I'll give you more later, if there is a later. You never know. Bye. Yep, it's me. See you later.